Welcome back, everyone, to the Lake Lewis Jr. Show. Appreciate you joining us as always. It's Friday, which means it's Friday Fan Day. And yes, we have the best and brightest of the bunch joining us again to help break down the Washington Commanders and some NFL talk as a whole. And we do have a little announcement to make. A lot more information will come next week, but it looks as if the Lake Lewis Jr. Show will be on ESPN Radio on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m. And then also on Fridays, Friday Fan Day will be streaming live from the ESPN studio where I'll be. And it's going to be live, though. It'll be on YouTube. So if you want to join us, all you have to do is email me at thelakeLewisJr.show@gmail.com, and we'll do our best to get you on there. If we're going to be doing this stuff live, everybody got to be ready, suited up, looking good, as you always do. So how's everybody doing on this Friday?
Great.
Good.
Doing good.
Good,
man.
Lots of stuff to talk about, and you guys know how appreciative I am of you always making time out of your day to come on and, help chop it up and talk about all the good things that are going on. And, starting with the Commanders, look, this team has made some moves, and, I want to get your take on that. I want to find out what you feel about David Blah being the head coach. Being the offensive coordinator. He ultimately could be a head coach, but him moving up the ranks so fast and getting that. So, we'll go around the horn and get your take on that. But Brad, I see you want to ask something.
Yeah, real quick, man. I know we got a short period of time. I want to get, by you being media, I want to get your opinion on my auntie, Lynn Jones, asking Combs' question in Jacksonville and all the negative feedback she's getting. What's your viewpoint on that?
Man, you already know how I stand on that stuff. Like, first and foremost, if you have a problem with somebody being kind and classy, then you're a curmudgeon. That's just the bottom line. And this doesn't have anything to do with professionalism. And she was about as professional as you possibly could be under the circumstances. And again, my whole style has always been to embrace fans, look at you guys. This is proven fact, to embrace the players, to embrace the coaches, and show them that you see them as human beings first. My whole approach with you guys is that the dialogue that we have, I've always said, let's keep it classy, no cursing, let's respect each other's opinions, but be courteous to each other. It's not, it takes great effort to be nice. It takes effort. It does. It takes effort to be courteous to people. It takes effort to want to get along with people and see people's differences and the good things about their differences. It takes no effort to be a jerk. And that's probably why you see a lot of people being jerks. It doesn't take a lot of effort. So for her to do what she did you see how Liam Cohen took that? Like how he received it? That helped him under a crushing defeat, Right. And I really like the fact that you as fans loved what she did. Most of the fans that I've seen, there's some that like, that's unprofessional. How would you know when you're not even in this profession? Because I know I never had a handbook given to me going back to college, being a broadcast journalism major at Penn State. I never had anybody give me a handbook that told me that you can't be nice to people, that you can't give words of encouragement to anyone in a press conference, in a locker room, in a one-on-one setting. No one's ever showed me anything that said you can't do that. So to answer your question, Brad, I don't know where anyone has a right to question somebody for being a decent human being and then going back and questioning if they need to be in that room. But y'all know what I deal with here in town. I don't have no problem saying it. I deal with it in town. Hopefully I won't be dealing with it on a national level, but I'm sure I probably will be. Because there's some mean-spirited people in this profession, unfortunately, who probably are dealing with things outside of the locker room. And the irony is, the hypocrisy is, they expect for players not to have their own personal lives and things that they deal with and come into the locker room and be at their best at all the time. But then some of my colleagues can't even do that themselves. So I thought what she did was wonderful, and I'm glad it's getting a lot of attention. I'm glad you asked the question, because I do think that it needs to be brought to the attention of every NFL media room or every sports media room that there's some people in there that need to change their attitudes or they need to be gone.
Agree. Totally agree. nothing that she did was wrong, in my opinion.
Nothing. Not one
Nothing.
thing. Not
Thought she
one
was
Nothing
thing.
at
good.
all.
And how
Yeah.
can you say being kind is unprofessional? That's
Right.
ridiculous.
Right.
Because when you're not kind, you don't know what professional is.
Right.
So the
Right.
people who are screaming foul, and then I can say this, not to call anybody out, but one of the reporters that had a problem with what she did, you go back and you see that she was talking to a player about a wedding ring. You know, that's not a hard hitting football question. So how can you do that? And then you're getting mad at somebody else for doing something over here that was even more gracious. That's the whole point. It wasn't like, and I'll say this, Scott Van Pelt, I think nailed it. I don't know if you guys saw what he said. But I encourage anybody, even if you're watching this, I encourage you to go back and look at what he said, because I've been thinking that for years. I've been thinking that I've heard people ask horrible questions, absolutely horrible questions. I've had you guys tell me who's had to ask that terrible question in the press conference. So when they're asking questions like that and they're not good, do you think that bad question trumps a lady being courteous and being kind to somebody? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that's the world we living in now, though,
Yeah.
unfortunately. A lot of
Unfortunately.
nonsense going on.
And you
Yep.
could, if she would have asked that question, I mean, it's not wrong, but if she had asked that question to a coach like Tomlin or Harbaugh, who been in the league, who has won Super Bowls, but she said that to a first-time coach
First year head coach. Yep.
and who are not expected to be as far as they did, their team. So
Hmm.
she was just encouraging him. So
She
And
did
he
much
nothing
love,
needs
wrong.
that.
Auntie. Much
And he
love,
Yeah.
Auntie.
Yeah.
absolutely he needs that too, because nobody expected Jacksonville to come back the way they did this year and be in the
Right.
playoffs and be the type of team that they are. And that starts with him. And then on
Yeah.
top of that, to have a crushing defeat like that. And most people don't ask, not most, but a lot of my colleagues ask questions that are, once again, they're lobs. They're lobs for a reaction. It's, walk me through this defeat. How are you feeling right now? Is that really a fair question to ask someone after they just finished battling for 60 minutes and you lose a close, hard-fought playoff game, your season's over? You haven't had a chance to process just the fact that the game just ended, let alone you're asking somebody to walk you through their emotions. Those aren't questions to me. Those are, I want to be heard asking this question. So for her to not ask a football question, to not make it about herself. See, that's the thing that I think people are losing in translation here. She wasn't actually making anything about herself. She was reflecting to the coach to let him know, congratulations on a good season. It's okay. You did all of us justice here in Jacksonville. Different market from New York, different market from Philly, different market from Detroit, Chicago, LA. They're all different markets. So I had no problem with it whatsoever in the least bit. I do it all the time, just so you know. I tell guys in the locker room after games, keep your head up. If a guy played well, hey, you played well. If a guy didn't play well, keep your head up. I know you got it. You got it. And they always come back and say, man, I appreciate you telling me that. I appreciate that. Jaden says that all the time. Bobby says that all the time. Guys that really don't need to say it, they always say, I appreciate you. And they also the ones that let you know, man, like, I'm not even looking forward to going in this press conference because I know it's going to be some dumb questions asked. I'm just letting y'all know that's what goes on. So no, that was a great question, Brad. I appreciate it. I talked about it on someone's podcast earlier today, and it was the first time I really talked about it publicly. So this is the second time that I've talked about it publicly. I didn't even want to give it any time of day, honestly, because it's just so immature and childish. It's just there's no written handbook that says you got to be that way. So all right, so let's move it along. Let's get into some Washington stuff here. New offensive coordinator. Want to get your takes on that. Find out what you think, and do you like the move, or do you think that they should have waited a little bit longer to get a bigger name, more experienced play caller in, or more importantly, do you even understand why the move was made? So we'll start with Brad. Since you lobbed that question up, so we'll start with you.
I think they learn from the past and not allowing a young, brilliant, innovative mind to get out of it. Because think of the guys that we had: LaFleur, McVay, Shanahan. They couldn't
O'Connell.
afford to. Yeah, they couldn't afford to lose him. So I think they acted quickly, and I'm excited about it.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, Miss Sheila. What you think? Are you happy with the move for the new offensive coordinator, David Blau?
Yeah, I think he should get a chance. Yep.
Okay.
I believe in that.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. Good, quick to the point. I love it. All right. So let's go with Gerard. What's up, Gerard?
How you doing, brother? Congratulations again.
Appreciate you.
Yes, I'm very thrilled. I wanted a younger mind, who's very energetic, want to put his name, his game plan out there. I'm very, very excited for the move, and I'm glad we decided what Brad said, not to lose a good offensive coordinator
Mm-hmm.
to be we homegrown these guys, and we done lost a whole lot of them doing that. So I'm glad we are at least taking the chance to keep one in-house.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a brilliant move too. And you think about it, one of the guys that left the tree that was here when he was younger, McVay, won a Super Bowl. Another
Yep.
one, has been in the Super Bowl. Another one has a Super Bowl caliber team. I mean, heck, you can look at Raheem Morris. Raheem Morris was here too, So there's several guys that if you go around the league, you're like, damn, they was on the same staff at the same
Yep.
time and have nothing to show for it. So I do. I
He
think when
hired Ron Rivera.
stop.
Sorry.
See, there you go.
Sorry, my bad. My fault.
Go.
Block that out.
All right, let's go, Ellison. What you think, brother?
I like to hire young, innovative. No one has game film on him and what he's run over the past 3, 4, 5 years. So it's going to catch some people by surprise pretty much all next year. So a new playbook, new handbook, new scheme, new everything. So I'm excited about it. I like it. Hopefully we do the young, innovative thing on the defensive side of the ball, but I think we'll probably go with the older, more experienced guy there. But yeah, I like to hire.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Shano out in California. What you think, brother?
How y'all doing? Happy fan day. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yep.
Perfect. All right. So as I said during our last recording, even though it wasn't posted, I think it was a plan B. I think that head coach called over to Mike McDaniel and said, hey, can you come this way? And Mike was like, hey, I'm trying to do bigger things. I'm trying to be a head coach somewhere else. And so then at that point, our head coach jumped on where we currently are with Bilal. And I don't think it's a bad hire because like we've already touched on, we let some good people out the door. But it is a big risk for the head coach to hire this young man because if it doesn't work, he's on the hot seat. He's probably out of here.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I do. I think that Dan's kind of tying his lifeline in Washington to David Blau. But the thing is, if it works, he looks brilliant. And one thing I do know about Dan, and then we'll get to David because I know he's up next. But one thing I do know about Dan Quinn is he's a loyal guy, but he's also a guy that likes to help push people's careers along. So I think this is different from, say, like a Joe Witt on the other side of the ball who didn't have any experience calling plays, because offensive minds are different and most of them are involved with each other's plans a little bit. So you guys know there's no question in my mind that after the conversation with Cliff about changing some things and it not being, no, I'm not doing that, I'm pretty confident that David said, you know what? Yes, we can run the ball more. Yes, we can put Jaden under center more. Yes, we can do some things to help the whole situation. And you can see something different. And people don't have any tape on what he's going to do. So that could be a blessing in disguise in itself. So let's go on with David here. What you think, Dave?
I like the move,
Mhm.
especially because no one knows who he is really.
Right.
The only one that probably knows who he is Detroit, and they try to get a jump on him before we did. And I'm happy that we finally, woke up and like the guys have said that we didn't let this guy get away this time like we let the other guys get away. So I'm excited. It's a risk, but it's a risk that I think it's good to take. I think he's going to surprise many people. And a lot of defenses aren't going to have too much answers, at least, first go.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, this thing could be a coup for them if they get it right. And to me, I think what makes this thing, it could make this a slam dunk, is whoever they get on the defensive side of the ball. And if they can get one in particular, like if you ask me who do I want, and we're going to talk about this now, who do you want to be the defensive coordinator? I'm saying if you get me Brian Flores up in here, it's a wrap. But I just don't see how he comes to Washington as a defensive coordinator when he can just stay in Minnesota with Kevin, and keep doing what he's doing and then just get a head coaching job, which I think he probably can get in this cycle right now. I think he's going to end up being a coach for one of these teams in this cycle this year. So the question I have is, from the defensive side of the ball, what exactly are you guys looking for this team? Is it experience? Is it creativity? Is it all of the above? Is it someone in the building already? Maybe a Ken Norton, Jr., someone like that. What are you guys looking for? So let's start this round off with Gerard.
Nobody in the building on this one. Not for me.
Good.
I want somebody to come from the outside. He don't have to be real young or real old. He just has to know what he wants, know how to get the most out of the talent, know how to talk to the men, and to let his scheme get across.
Yeah.
And then be able to work with the offense coordinator and DQ, of course. Don't bring nobody in that DQ gonna knock heads with. Let's go ahead and make this thing work, but just be able to get the most out of those players. I don't want to hear next year, oh, the guys couldn't get the scheme and we had to dumb it down.
Yeah.
Let's go. That's where I'm at.
Okay. Good stuff. All right, Shauna, what you think?
B. Flores would be great, but I had a question for you. You stated that you feel he's going to get in on a head coaching gig this go around, even with the lawsuit intact. You think that's going to take place?
Yeah, because if the lawsuit, everyone keeps bringing the lawsuit up. If the lawsuit was so bad, he wouldn't be a defensive coordinator either. He wouldn't be in the league.
Right.
He'd be Kaepernick.
Right.
Let's call it like it is. I gotta be careful now. So yeah, but no, he wouldn't be coaching. Let's just call it like it is. So because the league could get in more trouble. That's collusion. You can't do that.
Definitely, but definitely hard to prove too, though. But I wish him the best. I would love to see him with us, but if he gets a head coaching job, do your thing. But also, whoever does get hired, I like to see them be flexible, make some in-game changes and adjustments, and try to get the best out of the personnel that we have here. Okay, if it doesn't fit your scheme right now, you have to work with what we have. You know what I'm saying? You got to cook with the ingredients that you have in the kitchen, and then eventually draft what you're looking for down the road.
Absolutely. Those are all great points, Sean. I mean, again, there's talent on this defense. I truly believe that.
Yes,
I just believe they weren't properly utilized. And then when you were moving guys back and forth, like Mikey Samerstow had a kind of a regression in his second year because he wasn't playing where he should have played from day one. Last year, by the end of the year, Mikey Samerstow was playing great football, right? Quan Martin even was playing really good football towards the end of the year, going through the playoffs last year. But this past year, it just seemed like nothing worked, nothing meshed. Everything was just ragtag. So, yeah, whoever comes in, they got to be able to adjust to the personnel. They have to be able to make adjustments on the fly. More importantly, they got to play downhill. No more sit back on your heels and let the defense drag you in the alley. You got to be the person dragging people in the alley. And that's what you want to see. You want to see someone with an aggressive style. So, Ellison, what you think?
I was just going to say that I want to see somebody aggressive. I want to see some blitzing. Not saying every play, but I got to see it more than twice in 2 months. You know what I mean? So I want to see aggressive. I want to see some man-to-man sometimes with proper personnel, obviously, to run some of this stuff. But I want to be aggressive on defense, man, not just be a bend and break defense. I want to see some aggressive. Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And then David, what you think?
Yeah, man. Same thing. Like I've always been saying, I want an aggressive, coach. Brian Flores will be, top dog. Like everybody has stated. That we get him is another thing, but I just want somebody to come in here and bring a solid, aggressive defense. With blitz packages, stunt packages, something to confuse the other team because as we've seen, the offenses look too comfortable when they play our defense. And I
Yeah.
don't want them to be comfortable. I want them to be uncomfortable, and always be thinking, all right, what are they going to bring at us next? That's the type of mindset that I would like them to get.
All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. And then Brad.
I don't want to see a first-time defensive coordinator. I don't want that. I would like to have an experienced guy who, all you said, who can make adjustments and learn who has been through adversity and can pull us out of that. Well, it'll be a day where we just look bad on defense. And he comes back and get us ready the next week. So somebody with some experience who'd have been there and and someone who has a plan.
Mhm.
If his plan is for us to be blitzing, then go get blitzing players. If we're going to be zone, go get the type of players that fits your scheme. That's what I want.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. And then we got a couple minutes before we can take a break here, but I wanted to get your take on last week's playoffs. Was that to you the best, say, first weekend wild card period?
Yes.
Was that the best you've seen in a long time?
For wild card weekend.
Especially seeing Philly lose.
I knew somebody was going to bring that up. So y'all didn't want to see any representation of the NFC East and in the Super Bowl or anything like that? Okay, gotcha.
If I can't have fun, nobody can. Oh.
Yeah, they're on the couch. We all going to the Bahamas together.
That's right.
Which based on what you've seen, which team to you right now looks the scariest? And remember, Denver didn't play yet, and Seattle didn't play. So you can say them, although they didn't play yet. But is there a team that looks like they just look destined to do something?
For me, I would say Houston, but I trust the defense. I do not trust the quarterback.
Well, Nico Collins is out this weekend,
and that's another reason why.
That's what's going to hurt them.
That's rough.
Yeah, it is.
That's rough.
He's the number one. He's the number one target. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's what hurt.
No one's gonna say the Bears.
I don't trust the quarterback either.
Man, that was a choke job about Green Bay.
Green Bay.
God,
it was.
So y'all not gonna give Chicago no love on that. It was all Green Bay. It was all Green Bay. It was all Green Bay.
Man, Caleb Williams was throwing more temper tantrums than my 3-year-old niece. You know what I mean? And then they let them come back. That was a choke job.
There's one thing about Caleb. He will, and there's some other quarterbacks in the league too. They will keep their team in the game, but they'll also keep you in the game too. And he's in that category.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing. He's. I just think he is who he is. He's just always going to be. I don't want to say pouty. He's just a serious dude. He's the polar opposite of Jaden. Jaden's laughing at you when he's running by you. Caleb is just a serious dude. And I think he's going to have a hell of a career. But Chicago, you do start to wonder, when is the slipper going to come off? Because we saw this last year, right? We're qualified to talk about this. We saw this last year, and then when they went up against Philadelphia, it was like you saw right in front of you, they not on that level yet.
One thing about Chicago, though, their defense will take that ball away from you, though.
Yeah, but they'll give up yards, though.
See, this game coming up against the Rams, it should be. I agree, Gerard. It's like one of them games where you think to yourself, the offensive firepower for the Rams, right? But their defense hasn't been playing up to par. Carolina moved the ball on them pretty easily at times. So I don't know where to go with that. The 49ers
and the weather.
That weather, because if that Chicago's weather is our sister here in Michigan. And it is biting out there, baby. It's cold. So Yeah.
Don't remind me, Brad. Don't remind me. So, yeah, I don't want no parts of that right now. So,
I got a
when you
point on
think
the
of
Rams.
what'd you say, Shauna?
I have a point on the Rams. I think that they have been trying to put their best players on ice through the latter part of the regular season, and now they're going to play them. I think they're going to run the ball more because the weather we spoke of could be snowing or whatever the case may be. So they got a two-headed little guys, they're not really monsters, that can run the ball, and I think they're going to do more of that, especially because the finger of the quarterback. So he may not be at 100%, and then they have a lot of weapons, but they're going to utilize them, and they're great. They have a great head coach. So I think he has something for Chicago, and it won't be any of that get a lead and let them come back like Green Bay did. That was the worst coaching job I've ever seen. There's no way why aren't you trying to run the ball and juice that clock down and keep their offense off the field? It just didn't make sense. It was like almost like it was scripted. Okay, you did good in the first half. Now we're going to let them come back and win. And I'm like, come on now. What is this? They had like 7 yards rushing in the second half. What is that?
I think we saw that whole episode displayed in the Super Bowl a couple years back, where you got a monster lead, but you don't want to run the football. That's when you only should have ran the football just to run the clock off. They got complacent, they got comfortable, and you could see after each Chicago score, you could see it just getting super tight around the collar. And you knew. And actually, I was watching it with my better half, and I told her, Green Bay gonna lose this game. She said, no. And then Green Bay goes down to scores. She said, I told you they're not gonna lose. I said, nah, you don't understand. That looks like a worried bunch right there. And their defense just totally collapsed and fell apart. So I thought it was a fireable offense personally.
Me too. Me too.
But again, the foresight to say this is a young coach that has this team winning every year. We're not going to let him just walk away because who you going to get this better? Well, there's a couple that could have been out there, but we'll see how that goes. Yes, sir.
To me, that was the way I saw it. Like, there wasn't really a team that stood out to me that was like, wow, But if we talk about defense, though, Texas was scary. I got to tell you, Texas was crazy.
That was impressive.
But as far as offense, it's not really a team that's really imposing me to say, yeah, that's the team right there. But I think it's anybody's game right now.
I do too. It's something about just experience at that quarterback position that means everything. And you look at one of the guys I'm going to mention here, and we've probably got about 5 minutes here. Brock Purdy, no one talks about him. Like, out of all these quarterbacks, he's probably the least talented, you know what I'm saying, skill-wise and all that. But he's already been in the Super Bowl. You can't discredit that. They went into Philly last week, and Philly was off the hinges already. But what they did to them in the second half by sticking around, that's that experience standpoint that I'm talking about. So now you look at the quarterbacks that are left in the playoffs, and you see, I'm talking about guys that have won and been in a Super Bowl. Brock Purdy, Matt Stafford. There's no coincidence right there. You know what I'm saying? So who's to say that could be the NFC Championship game? I would not be surprised if the 49ers go in and beat Seattle. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I would agree.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's just a label that he's been carrying just because he's been what is called Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's like there's been a lot of people that don't let that label go. And the guy has shown that he may not be an elite or a great quarterback, but the kid has done some good plays, man.
Well, who has? But then you look at the AFC. If Josh Allen, this is his time, isn't it? Don't you think that? Like, if you can't get it done now, you're not going to get it done.
Yeah, especially with the evil empire, Kansas City not being there. This is his chance. This is chance.
Lamar,
no Burrow.
Yeah.
I mean,
Burrow.
Think about it.
I say if Allen doesn't take his chance now and win it, I don't think he's going to get another chance.
Yeah, I mean, the windows are closing. They're closing quick on me, but he's so good, they're always going to be relevant. That's just the nature of
Right.
having a great quarterback.
Yeah.
But
You know
I
what?
think this is his best shot to try to get there.
I'm going with the underdog, man.
Who
For
you
some
going
reason,
with?
I'm going with
New England?
I'm going with Sam Darnold. I got New England and Seattle in the Super Bowl. I
Just-
told
I
the
don't-
boys in the chat.
I don't
I'm going with
discredit
the
that.
underdog. I mean, that's just me. This has been a crazy different football season. Everybody talking about the Josh. These young quarterbacks, they balling, man. Don't sleep on them. I ain't
I'm
going
not.
on the Matt Stafford.
They all playing well, but this is the scenario that I think would just be really, like, if you talk about like ideal scenarios for the league right now. I think the ideal scenario AFC Championship game would be Buffalo beating Denver this week and New England beating Houston, and Buffalo playing New England for the AFC Championship in New England.
Right.
Because you have a little bit of the rivalry from the division. You have the young gun going up against the old gun. And Josh Allen ain't old, but you know what I'm saying. And if Drake were to beat Josh, I do think that Buffalo window might be closed at that point. Okay. But then you go to the other side. Yeah, but you go to the other side of the ball. Let's just say Stafford were to get by. No, let's say let's just say Chicago were to beat LA.
Yep.
You could have Chicago going up against San Francisco. If let's say they beat Seattle, a proven guy that's been in the Super Bowl in Purdy, and the next up and coming gun, going for that. So there's some compelling matchups. I just think right now, as far as the team that was playing the best football, period, down the stretch, it was Seattle. And
all the way.
It was Seattle.
Yeah.
But I need to see. But I need this. I was just about to say, I need to see Sam do it.
That's what see. Look, that's my point. Everybody going off that old point of it. Where's Mike Tomlin? Is he the Pittsburgh Steeler? No. Where's Harbaugh? Is he the Baltimore Raven? No. This is a strange year. Just don't go by that old part. That's all I'm trying to say.
Nah, that's fair. That's fair.
This is a different football season, in my opinion. All these injuries we had. So I mean, not just Commanders. All these good players getting hurt, wide receiver every week. This football season has been different. That's all I'm saying.
So what would be the Super Bowl that nobody wants to see before we wrap this up for today, and we'll be back on doing it again tomorrow? What would you say?
Nobody wants to see?
Yeah. What would be the low rating Super Bowl?
Chicago, Houston.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Chicago.
But
Houston
Chicago's
for sure.
top 3 market though.
Yeah,
Houston, Seattle probably.
But do you want to see their football?
Do you want to see Chicago?
Do you want to see their football? Yeah. There's a difference between
I hear a little bit of hate because they haven't the season Washington had last year.
I'm hating because my quarterback is better than theirs. I'm hating. I'm hating.
Yeah, he is better. I'm not hating, no. I don't.
I am.
As far as ratings is concerned, I don't think people want to see Chicago against. I don't know. Before the playoffs started, I had Buffalo and the I had the Rams and the Bills in the Super Bowl. And I'm sticking with that.
So what do you think? What do you think would be the highest rated Super Bowl that could come out of this group of playoff teams?
LA and Buffalo.
Well, everybody want to see Buffalo finally get that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Buffalo.
See them be 0-5 in the Super Bowl. That's what
and look how we're working out for Josh. His actor's wife about to have a baby. She winning awards and all of that. It's just
And it's in Santa Clara. It's in Santa Clara too. You know,
I would say Buffalo and the 49ers would be the highest.
And
then the Super Bowl was at the 49ers, right?
See, I think the lowest. So you had the 49ers. They'd be playing at home. But I think the lowest would be, and I do think it probably would be Houston out of the AFC. And I'm gonna say Seattle.
Yeah, it'd be Houston, Seattle.
Probably.
Because everybody got that Sam Darnold.
The final score in that game would be 3-0. That's who's
I
gonna win the
agree.
game. It'd be
Yeah,
3-0
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that defense.
Yeah,
on
both
both
defenses.
sides.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
both defenses.
So
exactly.
that would
Yeah,
be who turns the ball over on their side of the field, so the
yeah,
other
yeah,
team
yeah.
can kick a game winning
But
field goal.
that's my type of game. When people don't like the 10-3, 6-3 ball, that's
Oh
my
no, I
type of
love
football.
that.
All
That
of it's
I
good to
love
Philadelphia,
me.
that.
that Philadelphia
Yeah,
game the other day
I
was
loved it.
epic to me.
I
That
loved it.
was
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
all
loved
of it's
I
good.
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't want to see 30, 35.
Me neither.
I
Me
don't want to
neither.
see all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Old school.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, look,
Yeah.
fellas, appreciate it as always. You guys know that. We're gonna do it again for you tomorrow. So if you do want to be on tomorrow's program, all you have to do, email me at thelakeLewisJr.show@gmail.com, and we will get you on, and we'll continue talking about, the Commanders, some more NFL stuff. Just have a good conversation first thing
New
Saturday morning.
stadium.
New
Oh yeah,
stadium,
stadium too. Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
So we'll get a chance to talk about that. So if you're not joining us back tomorrow, we will see you next week, and hopefully we'll be, in the studio. So yeah, it'll be nice and fun. So appreciate you guys. Have a good one
Appreciate it.
tonight. Be
All right,
safe,
Yes,
family.
and
sir.
we'll see you
Stay
tomorrow.
safe.
So naturally with this team, having, two new coordinators, the question that I want to know from you guys is this a setback for the team? Do you feel like this is more of a rebuild and a restart or reset, or do you feel like this is just an opportunity for them to fix something to be back where they were, in the 2025, 2024 season, so do you feel like this team is capable of getting back to where they were, or are you looking for them to kind of take a step back now with two, new coordinators? So let's go ahead and keep it going. Let's go with Oscar on this. What's your thoughts on that?
Like, I don't think it's rebuilding from like ground zero because just like you said, we had something going on the previous year before. We all know about the injuries that were awful the whole season, this season, but I think it's still DQ's ability, to be able to set the coordinators and make that chemistry rise again.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
I don't think we're gonna be worse than this year.
Yeah, I don't think most of us think that's even possible. If they're healthy, if they're healthy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. All right, that's a good point. Good point. All right, so let's go with Gerard. What you think?
How I feel is I'm just so excited. It's
Good,
after
me
going through
too.
a season that we just come off with all those injuries and all the different situations we done been through. I just see this as the recalibration, as what DQ said from day one.
Mm-hmm.
We had that great year. Nobody was expecting us to be so awesome to go to the NFC East Championship game. Like I tell you guys, to me, overall, that was a JD5 effect.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, JD5 was a little injured. We had some ups and downs this year, play calling, coaches not being on the same page. It's all about recalibration. Every year, you're going to have to fine tune something. So this year is just offense and defensive coordinators. We hope and pray that this works out, and I believe it will. And then we're just going to keep on tweaking and moving forward. Because, like I say, I just want consistency. I want this team to be something that we can look forward to every season. We know we have a shot to make the playoffs. So that's just where I'm at. And I think this recalibration that we're doing, AP and DQ just doing their due justice to build our team properly.
Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. And I think we all can agree on the defensive side of the ball. It can't get any worse.
Yeah.
So whoever's coming in should be able to lift them up, more than what they were doing last year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, because that was bad. All right. So let's keep it rolling. Let's go with Josh. What you think, Josh?
I think whoever the reason why they're taking a little bit longer with this DC position is they're weighing every single option because it's the biggest position to fill. Not that the
Mhm.
offensive coordinator wasn't important, but we're still dealing with the aftermath of bad drafts from the previous administration. Okay. And I'm sorry, Brad, I didn't say the name. And, and I'm sorry. I mean, that takes a long time.
I had that stomach virus that Lake had. I feel it.
But I hear Philly fans saying y'all have no depth. That's exactly right. We have no depth because we didn't hit on any of those picks. and not many of them at least, but we're starting to hit on the last 2 years. The last 2 years, the last 2 years picture looking good. I'm with G.
Okay.
The recalibration
No,
working. We got to hit it out of the park. We got to stay healthy and keep on pushing. We know that it's not it doesn't happen in 1 year. It almost did, but you got to keep the faith, man. I mean,
okay. Good stuff. Let's go with Brandon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like G and Oscar and Josh. I the thing I really like what they did with getting Blau was keeping it in the organization. I thought that was in somebody that Jaden's, knows. And I think the guy's going to surprise a lot of people. I really do. I think he's going to come in fresh. He's got something to prove. And I always know in my industry or anything, anybody that's talented and has something to prove, got a little chip on their shoulder. And those people, I think when, you got to prove yourself, that's a dangerous combination. And I think always it pushes that person to be the best they can be. And he's going to be doing that. As far as what they're doing with the defense, I like that they're taking their time. Would I love to see him get Brian Flores because I know he just interviewed here? Of course, I'd love to see it, but I know that guy's probably going for a head coaching position. I know, and I hope he gets a head coaching position. I just hope he just takes a couple years and comes and coaches us, and maybe he'll be our new head coach. Who knows? But yeah, that's the way I feel though.
Yeah, the thing is that and we're going to go to Shauno next, and then we have Sheila and Brad as well, to answer this, and then we'll talk about the new stadium. But before we get that, the one thing that I am concerned about, okay, as much as I want Brian Flores here, I'm gonna go back to something Gerard said like 2 weeks ago. I don't want 1 year rentals. I don't want to coordinate because if Brian Flores comes here, and let's just say this team is in the playoffs next year and the defense looks way better than what they look like this year, which shouldn't be much, but Brian Flores gone.
That's right.
He'll be gone. He'll be gone before the clock strikes midnight. So my thing is the David Blau hire is smart because he's never been an offensive coordinator. This is a step up for him. I think most people will know in next year's coaching cycle. Let's just say Washington has the number one offense in the league with David Blau. Yeah, some teams may want to take a look, but if you're smart, you're probably going to say, I need to see he can do this again. Yeah. So now you got him 2 years, and then maybe the third year he'll be gone. Similar to Cliff, okay? So I think whoever they hire on the defensive side of the ball will be okay. Because, and I mean us, because I can't say we with the teams. We will be okay because it can't get any worse than what it was. But I would like to see them possibly, if they say they're interviewing somebody that nobody's ever heard of, and it's a young guy, and he's coming from a tree from a legit defense, like maybe Houston right now. I keep saying right, the defensive line coach there.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that I want to see. I want to see them, to think somebody in this group said the other day, just, kick the tires and make sure they're doing all their due diligence, and if they can do that, then I think, we're good to go. So, all right. So let's go ahead and keep it rolling. Let's go with Shauno here. What you think, Shauno?
I think that it's kind of like what G said, but I would use the term refresh and plug and play. This kind of reminds me of if you get a flat tire on a car, you don't have to change all four tires. You just change the one that has a flat. I think we'll be okay. If I had to put a number on it, I would say we're not going to be as bad as we were this year, and we're probably not going to be as good as we were 2 years ago or last year. So, but still, I think we could be a playoff team. We just have to gel and stay healthy. If we stay healthy, we could play with anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Good points. Let's go with Brad. What you think, Brad?
I think it's a rebuild, and I'm fine with that. Let's do it the right way. I don't want to operate in hope. We got a new offensive coordinator. We are hoping he may be good, right? We don't know. He may be, but we're hoping that. We're hoping we get a good defensive coordinator who's going to do better with a depleted roster. So I don't want to operate in hope. no more. I want to go in what we know. So I'm fine with a rebuild. And what I've been saying on this show and on our group chat for everybody know what I've been saying. Are we patient enough to start over? And I'm fine with 8 wins next year, as long as 8 wins, building the roster, getting our guys ready, turn into 10 wins after that, and then 11 wins. Then we consistent. So I think it's a rebuild, and I'm cool with that.
Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. And then
I had
finally,
a question for you, Brad. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
oh no, I was gonna say, save that question. Let's go with Miss Sheila and get her thoughts on that. So, what you think, Miss Sheila?
Well, I'm hoping it's not a rebuild. I'm gonna say that, but I'm just gonna wait and see. I'm gonna stay positive, but I'm just waiting for the defensive coordinator. Who are we gonna pick? I've been looking at TV every day, looking to see if they got anybody. But I don't know.
There's somebody in mind. I can't say it, but there's somebody in mind that I think if they do go that route, I think everybody will be very happy about it.
Yeah, I think that we still got a lot of good pieces that we might put something together way better than this year. I believe in what Jaden said about he's going to rebuild himself, and I guess he knows that they want him to stand under center, so he's going to have to work on that. And I don't know. I just think if some of the old guys come back along with the new ones, I think they can encourage and get back on that right plane together. So that's what I'm hoping.
You know what I think is really important to say here is that and some of you have alluded to it, is that, when you say stuff like, you're hoping that they don't want to, refill what they did this past year, because think about it. They've had the two contrasts. If you're a young kid coming out of college like Jaden, Mikey Samerstill, Brandon Coleman, their first draft class, basically, you went straight to the NFC Championship game. And I remember years ago talking to Jamison Crowder. That's what I used to call him, the OG. I was talking to Jamison, and he was just like, Lake, this was right before the NFC Championship game. He said he's trying to impress upon these guys to not take it for granted. He said, because he said, my rookie year, I came in, we went straight to the playoffs, and they lost to the Packers in that wild card game. He said, and I'm thinking, man, it was a tough loss, but it's okay. We'll be back next year. We'll be back the year after that. He said, and I haven't been back since this, getting ready to be this game, this round of the playoffs. And he was like, so you can't take it for granted. So what I'm hoping is that these guys had a taste of heaven the first year, and then they had a little bit of taste of hell this past year. So you're hoping, so you're hoping, even if they somewhere in the middle next year, it's going to be an improvement from last year. So I hope that these guys are really focused and really upset, having personal pride as far as the way the seasons were. And I hope they listen to some of the pundits, I don't even like using that word for people that I work with, some of the others, that say that these guys aren't good and they're bust, and people talking about trade Jaden and get draft capital. Like,
that's stupid.
Are we really doing that now? After 1 year, are people literally turning their backs on this franchise that fast? That kind of stuff bothers me, man. It really does. It really does.
Out there, man.
Every team has one of those type of years. You just where nothing works, and then you have a year where everything does work. You just got to find the common ground somewhere, like I said, somewhere in the middle where that's your base. And for me, I think the base for this team, like this year, if they didn't have these injuries, I truly believe this team would have competed for a playoff opportunity. I truly. That's the NFL now. I mean, the Panthers they were in the playoffs with a losing record. They won their division. So
the Panthers.
If you don't think that this team is capable next year of competing for a playoff spot, I'm going to tell you you're wrong, because the league is set up for everybody to be part of the party. You just have to do your part now, stay injury free, have the ball bounce your way sometimes, but more importantly, make the plays you need to make. And we all know that they weren't doing that this year. So, with the way everything snowballed out. So, Shawno, you had a question you wanted to ask.
I did, and I appreciate you coming back to me. So, Brad, I want your opinion on what we just talked about. You stated that you feel it should be a rebuild. So, if Jaden doesn't show any progress in his play or maturation, do you sign him to that big contract during a rebuild?
Absolutely. I don't think what I mean by rebuild, I don't mean Jaden is the problem. I think like get your foundation players good. Like as much as I hate the Philadelphia Eagles, and I said this in our group chat, their roster is stacked. Everybody in their roster that they rely on, the only two people that came from free agency, the only two people that came from free agency was AJ Brown and Saquon Barkley. Everybody else they drafted. They drafted. So, and the Eagles, although they are, we just use an easy example, they are mess over there for whatever, but you can count on them being in the playoffs every year because of that roster. Yeah. That's what I want. Do it the right way. Let our hit on your draft picks. You know what I'm saying? They hit on all of their draft picks. And they're so good players fall to them.
Yeah. And they're also so good that their talent makes their draft picks. Yeah, exactly. Just like look at Cooper DeJean. I mean, we knew he was a good player coming from Iowa. He was phenomenal. But I didn't know he was going to be this good this
Same
early.
with Mitchell, the corner out of Toledo.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
They there everywhere, but they did it the right way. Their founding pieces are draft picks. That's what I want us to do. I don't want us to get a guy who's past his prime and expect him to be get a C+ player and expect A+ results.
Yes.
I mean,
let's just do it the right way.
You know, I think for the culture setting that needed to be done here when Adam and Dan came, I think it was imperative that they brought in veterans who could establish what culture is, what professionalism looks like. Okay. And you just hope that it trickled down to the young players. The problem that I think a lot of us have had, and I know Gerard has been very outspoken on this, is the fact that yes, you had Zach, you had Bobby, you have Vaughn, you had Hall of Famers, rightfully so, and they're everything right in football. Those guys represent everything that's right in football as far as how they carry themselves, how they're leaders, how they try to help the young guys. That's what you needed. But you don't want to do it to the expense of the young guys' development. And I think that's where this team has to figure it out. Bobby, look, I'm going to tell you right now, if Zach says, I know the knee injury, it does look like that could be career ending just because of his age and the point in his career. You can see him already physically slowing down. But if Zach says, I want to come back next year, and I think I can come back next year, I don't have a problem with Washington saying you can be one of them 3 tight ends, but you're not going to be the main tight end. I don't have a problem with that. Bobby, if Bobby wants to come back next year, I don't have a problem with them wanting Bobby to come back because they should. I don't have even a problem with Bobby starting next year, but I don't need Bobby on the field for all 3 plays all the time. You have to have the development aspect, where you have some of these young guys. And I heard you, Gerard. I did.
I like Bobby. I like Bobby. I'm not against Bobby at all because I think Bobby played great. I think our defense put him in some terrible situations, lining him up against a wide receiver. Of course, a wide receiver is going to get him.
And they didn't have anything in front of them either, by the way. People were freely running into the middle of the field.
What I disagree with the young guys is you can't just play a guy because he's young. He got to earn it.
No,
you got to earn it.
Agree.
You got to prove it. If he ain't doing nothing in practice, what makes you think he's going to do something in the game?
Well, I can say this from knowledge. I do know Joe, and I apologize if I'm calling these guys on first name basis. That's how they are with us, when we're out there. But with Coach Witt, okay, he he was about veterans, and there's no doubt. he he was going to make his bed with veterans, and that to me was at the detriment of the development of some of these younger guys. Because there's no way in hell you can tell me that Jordan McGee and that speed and athleticism should not have been on the field. You can find a player or two that can utilize what blitz the man. I mean, Deuce, but guess what? He didn't blitz. So it's little things like that. So I agree with you, Brad. I don't think you play a guy just because you drafted him. I don't think you play a guy because he makes this kind of money. I don't think you play a guy if they're not ready to perform at a high level on the field. But for young guys, the only way you're going to find out what they can do sometimes, it's not in practice, it's in a game. And the reason why I'm going to come back to you, Gerard, but the reason why I say it's not in practice, because let's face it, you know the playbook on both sides of the ball. You know what, like if I know Brad can only go right on a basketball court, guess what? I'm taking your right hand away from you. But in a game, unless the guys have really studied you and things like that, they don't know all your tendencies. And that's why I say sometimes when the bullets are really flying, and I hate using war analogies in sports, but when everything is real, that's when you find out who's real, what their game is. Is their game real or not? Look at Ben Sinnott this year. The opportunities that he had down the stretch, I saw enough for me to believe
he can
he
do
can
better.
be part. He can really be part of that tight end room, and have a really nice role. I don't know if he's a frontline starter, but probably not. But he definitely can be a two for sure. He definitely can be a two if in a passing situation. Yeah, someone was going to say something.
Me.
Yeah, Brett. I'm Gerard. Yep.
Yes, and I hear everything, and I agree with everybody. But this is the angle, even going through this off season right here.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting ready to draft some people.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting ready to bring in on free agency. That's football. Every team, every year, you're going to build your team through the draft, through free agency. Every GM, every coach on that staff, anybody who you're going to bring in to your team, I don't care you're paying them a $1 or you're paying them $80 million a year. You have to have a purpose and be able to see a purpose and know that you're going to be able to get something out of them, and they're going to fit your team far as today and for the future. That's how you stay consistency in anything in life, building a team on a regular job. All I'm trying to say to you is they showed me they didn't. You remember you asked us a question last week. What was our favorite thing that we liked about this season? And I responded, AP, when I heard AP was upset and they tried to say he was meddling or talking, that was the best thing I liked about the whole season, because that told me
he cared.
He cared. He's bringing in players. This coaching staff is even in a losing season, not even using the younger guys or even the older guys to see who's going to be here for the future. If you're not, you're doing a detrimental to your team. If you're not doing that. Eagles, we are not the Eagles. We're not even close to the Eagles. We had your boy, Brad, Ron. We had him. So we had to restart from that. Where AP just took a gamble this past year and brought in a whole lot of older veterans. I had no issue with that. We did it. Hey, the first year it worked. We went to the championship game. The next year, injuries set in, and it wasn't even, and the older people mostly stayed healthy throughout the season, right? Fine. But if your younger people or people who you really depended on are hurt, that's going to still hurt the older people. They're not going to be able to carry a team because you can't blend it and mix it. That's what happened this season. So right now we have a lot of money. We have to use that money in a proper way, bring in some middle-aged players, not 45, some middle-aged players, draft properly, people who you see your coaching staff using. I don't want to hear, oh, they won't comprehending. That's telling me AP and his staff is not doing their due diligence when they're doing this draft and this scouting combine, all that stuff. You have to know way in advance. And if you get a player and he's not working, get rid of him. Don't keep him. No, it's 2026. That's where I'm at. It's 2026. We got AI out here. We got so much stuff. All this. We got what? A virtual review now in the NFL. So all I'm trying to say is, let's be about it. To build your team, get the right talent, mix it, get the right coaching staff to be on the same page, and bring it along. Use your guys properly. Put them in the right scheme, in the right setup. And one more comment before I stop with Bobby. I love Bobby. He's great. But you don't think these offense coordinators know his weakness? If you put him on the field, they know he can't cover. So it's their job. Okay, you're going to play him. We're going to use that against you. So you got to be able to see that and make in-game changes on the defense and the offense. So that's where I'm at. I'm all about building our team for the future. That's what y'all said today in the future, not a one-year wonder like we had 2024. Right. So hopefully they can do that with starting this year, and I believe they will. But these draft picks you bringing in, they got to be people you see yourself using. If not, you just wasting a pick.
But don't you guys think that oh, Ellison's coming in. Cool.
Yes.
Cool. What's up, Ellison? All right. So don't you guys think, I guess you can use something as a baseline for a comparison. Look at Rivera's draft picks.
They all over the place.
And then look at Adams' two draft classes.
What I was saying.
I think it's night and day difference.
Night and day.
And so when people are like, Adam hasn't really hit on his draft picks and he's, we need to see more from his draft picks. Yeah, totally disagree with that. You go to the first draft class, and I'll just throw these names out there, and you guys tell up, meaning that you see the potential and you think they're doing okay, or you go like this because you haven't seen it, and that could be a bad draft pick. Okay. First draft class. Jaden Daniels. I mean, everybody need to have their thumb up. We know that.
Two thumbs.
Okay. Johnny Newton.
I still think he can be.
Yeah.
I'm neutral. That's what I gotta do.
No. It's no neutral. It's just either you see some potential enough to think that they can do it, or it's a horrible draft pick.
Good. That's good.
A man don't get 3 sacks in a game if he doesn't have potential. that's
3 sacks.
I go down.
Wow.
I'm going down.
Okay.
I'm going down. Right,
Ellison going down. Okay. So to me, thumbs down to me means they're not salvageable. They shouldn't even be here.
That's not what thumbs down means to me.
No.
Well, no. That's what I'm saying. It's thumbs up, meaning you see some potential that it could be a good draft pick. Thumbs down mean you don't see the potential and it's a bad draft pick. No, I mean because you've seen it with your own eyes. You've seen them doing things on the field.
with my own eyes.
Yeah.
But let's use Johnny since you brought up Johnny. The team, I just have not seen him play consistently enough on a team in good situations. So that's where it bothers me.
But I've seen veterans not be consistent.
Exactly. And I will still give you a thumbs down.
But can I jump in on the Johnny thing though?
Yeah.
If anything on our defense, and if you can talk to any other team, the most consistent names you probably heard was our 2 tackles, right? Kinlaw didn't play bad. Payne didn't play bad. Johnny didn't have that opportunity. And when he got his opportunity, he did it. All I'm saying is get you a defensive coordinator, just rotate those guys. And then maybe he'd be good.
I've said this before. When somebody's a defensive or a player of the year in their respective conference, and this just ain't any old conference, I'm Big Ten biased. That's just what we do. We win championships, and we win another one on Monday, 3 in a row for all you SEC haters out there. So anyway, he was the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, that tells you that the man has talent. And then when he came here and I saw what he was doing in training camp on bare feet, I knew that the guy could play football. But then, and I remember talking to Daryl, that's my dude, Coach Tapp, loves him. He's like, this guy's special.
He explained it on Next Man Up.
Yeah, but then the
how he's doing
coaches
this year,
finding a way to play this guy, play that guy, and you know, for most of us, you think they don't see something in him to not play him. Nah, it's just, you know, you catering to certain guys. That's just the bottom line. Well, when they let him play, I'm just saying, I don't care who it was against, when it happened. If you get 3 sacks in an NFL football game, you have talent, and it just hasn't been harnessed. You know,
well, he got 5 total.
Yeah, he got on the year, but I'm talking about one game he had 3.
Right, I know.
You know, so yeah, so he walked away with 5 sacks. That's if I'm not mistaken,
on limited playing time.
On limited playing time, that was
right.
second on this team. Behind, by the way, we talk about these old guys who led the team in sacks this year. Von Miller. So again, it's called coaching. I go back to it. I'm a player. I knew the coaches who failed me, and I knew the ones that made me better.
Let me ask you a question, Lake. Let me ask you a question. Johnny Newton. This is what, year 3?
This will be year 3 coming up.
This is year 3 coming up, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Drafted in the 2nd round?
Yes.
Right? Okay. Year 3, drafted in the 2nd round. Brad Jones talking about the Eagles, how they draft right. They play their players. Let me ask you this question, Lake.
But their coaching gets their players ready.
Right, but let me ask you this question, Lake. Do you believe, thumbs up or thumbs down, that Johnny Newton will be on the starting defensive line this year?
100%.
From day one.
I know.
From day one.
From day one. From day one.
Okay.
From
all
day
right.
one.
So that's what
Remember,
I
we
need
got a
to
new
see.
DC coming.
That's why I say I'm neutral. Remember, I said I wanted to go neutral. I had to see that because to me, when they brought in Kinlaw, I was all down with it. But that's also going to hinder Johnny Newton's playing time.
But see, this is the other thing, and I do want to make sure everybody knows this. They brought in Javon Kinlaw to be a defensive end. I hope y'all understand that. But because of Dedrick Wise getting hurt and some of the other stuff, you know, the other injuries on that line, frankly,
Dorrance.
I mean, they had everything got shifted around. The play this year was supposed to be Kinlaw and Wise on the edges.
On the ends.
Okay.
Right, to try to stop the run.
And then in the middle, Goldman, Duran, and you know, like Sheldon. I mean, just a nucleus of guys. Okay. Oh, Dave's joining us. What's up, Dave? Yeah. So just a nucleus of players were supposed to be rotational, but more importantly, all of their guys would be interchangeable. So you could move Javon in sometimes, you can move Dedrick in sometimes, you can move Johnny on the outside sometimes. That was the plan. I'm just saying somebody didn't adapt to doing that plan. And that's why they're not here no more. That's why they're not here anymore.
Even after the injury.
You can see that.
Yeah, it was a little bit of
even after the injuries, I still didn't see Kinlaw on the defensive end too much. I bet he didn't have no more than 10 snaps the whole season.
Well, they couldn't. They had to move him inside because literally teams were coming at them in the end. They just found holes everywhere. So again, Kinlaw showed spurts of dominance at times.
I mean, I'm happy with the move. I'm just saying.
But I got people telling me Kinlaw was a bust. They spent too much money on him, and I'm like, man,
I heard that yesterday.
Coaching is something that I hope people understand, man. I don't care if it's in your own house. My better half is a life coach for a lot of female cheerleaders that she works with. And I'm mesmerized sometimes by the stuff I hear her saying to them, and they take it and they're like, no one's ever told me this. That's coaching. That's what coaching is. If you have good ones, you will see the product on the field look pretty damn good. And I'm gonna use Philly as a perfect example of what I'm saying.
Oh man,
their offensive coordinator this year was not good.
No.
And did it not show? All that talent on that offense, they got Pro Bowlers littered all over their offense. Tight end, 2 receivers are Pro Bowlers. Running back, the quarterback. pretty much 4 out of 5 offensive linemen. They're all pro guys.
Yeah,
They're pro
the
bowlers.
same offense that won the Super Bowl.
Right.
Yeah.
That coordinator's gone.
He gone.
You had a new coordinator this year. And now guess what? And that's a whole nother subject too, because I am so sick and tired of the Jalen Hurts hate, because that man's had 5 different coordinators over 5 years.
And he don't lose the game.
And been in 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, he don't lose the game for them.
That's what I'm saying. A.J. Brown was dropping balls in this game I saw against the 49ers, but they're saying Jalen Hurts, the last throw, it was a bad throw. He shouldn't have thrown in triple coverage there at the end. But the bottom line is, coaching is something. You either have it or you don't. And if you don't have it, you're going to be exposed. I don't care how good you are. And that's why I say Johnny Newton, he's a good football player. And I think whoever the coordinator is, Dan and them going to make sure that coordinator knows. Adam's going to definitely make sure that they know that dude need to be on the field. As simple as that. He's a high motor guy too. Remember his rookie year on bad feet, was running people down.
He sure was.
It's little things like that. Not to get long winded, but I mean I hear what you're saying, Gerard. Yeah, so let's keep that.
One more question with that, Lake.
Okay.
Jerron Payne is in that position, right? So we're going to decide if we're going to bring him back or let him go.
Why? Why does everybody want Payne to go though?
Right.
The reason why I say that is because you're going to pay him. You're going to pay him a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right. So Johnny Newton almost should take his spot then, because we drafted him. This is his 3rd year.
Well, I think the plan. I think the plan all along was for them to have 2 new tackles to replace John Allen and Deron Payne. Right. And the reason why I say that, Brad, not because Deron's not productive. He is productive. But he's not productive enough for the money that he makes.
So would it be smart to restructure his contract if he's willing to pay? Because if you get rid of him, you already got a roster full of holes. If you get rid of him, you have to fill his position again.
It's Johnny Newton.
So let me say that.
It's got to be Johnny Newton.
Gerard, we don't have no depth at all.
That's when you bring that in now.
But Deron is not depth. Deron is a starter. So we talking about starter.
And he only performs on contract years.
Yeah, it's rotation. So what's going to happen is their tackles this year, I promise you guys, their tackles this year are going to be Johnny Newton and Javon Kinlaw. And Dedrick Wise will be back, and they're going to draft somebody that's going to be on that edge. It could be a Bailey, it could be Ruben Bain, and that's what I want. I want Bain. But I also am a big fan of David Bailey. He's a
That's who I want.
He's a guy that you can play on the line as well as being an outside linebacker. He can be middle line. He can do it all. So there will be an upgrade there in talent. But let's continue going on there, because we were talking about the draft classes. Thumbs up, thumbs down. And so we can make sure we're clear on this. Thumbs up means you've seen enough from them on the field to make you think it's not a horrible draft pick. Thumbs down mean it's a horrible draft pick. You whiffed on that. They shouldn't even be here. Okay. All right. So Ben Sennett.
That's enough.
Brad, I love it.
Okay. So, Brandon Coleman.
I think he good.
And this is the thing. Y'all putting y'all thumb down on guys that you see have 3 sacks in a game, that you see have production when they've played behind a Hall of Famer, by the way. And you putting your thumbs up for a guy that got demoted.
That was coaching, though.
No. We all agree. Brandon's my dude. I gave him a big thumbs up. But
it's coaching. Go ahead, Miss. Go ahead, Miss Sheila.
We said that went back a couple of months ago. I don't know how long it was, that we thought that their draft class was good.
No. I don't have no issues with any of them. I think this year's draft class was better than last year's, though.
Yeah, it was. It is.
Yeah,
with less picks. With less picks, by the way.
I'll say that, for me, I've seen more, because Brandon Coleman actually played a lot of snaps last year. So I know that ability.
Exactly.
I've seen that ability, and it's there. It wasn't harnessed this year because, like you said, the coaching. With Sennett and with Johnny Newton, I think the talent is there, but when they are in there, I don't know that they're in there. When they have snaps, I don't know that they've had snaps. I don't see the production. Yeah, he had 3
Growing up
sacks.
when he jumped off sides, right?
Sheila.
Well, he had 3 sacks, but he had 3 sacks against some backups. I want to see that consistently against some starters, against some official guys. And I think he's a rotational piece. That's just me personally. I think Ben Simmons is a rotational tight end in that tight end room. I don't think they're actually starters. Not saying they can't be productive, not saying they can't be all pros one day, but right now, as it stands, I think they're both rotational guys.
So if I were to ask you guys, and we're gonna keep it going, but if I had asked you guys, if I told you that in the 2025 season, regardless of the record or regardless of the outcome of the season, that Johnny Newton as a tackle would have 5 sacks, would you have signed up for that?
I would have.
Or more. 5 or more. I would have.
Well, what else does he have?
He had 5 sacks.
What else does he have?
In limited playing time.
What else does he have, though?
He made some good tackles.
What you mean?
But he wasn't in the game all the time.
That's a nice haircut. If he's not in the game,
right?
But I mean, if he's not making
his quarterback pressure rate was 3rd on the team this year as a tackle.
But that's not saying a whole lot, though.
It's saying a lot. It's saying a lot when you've had 60 to 70 less snaps than the guy that you want to pay to keep. I'm just saying.
I gotta see it. I gotta see it from Johnny. I'm not saying it's not there and it can't be harnessed. I gotta see it.
Okay, well, let's keep going in that first draft class. But let's keep going in that first draft class. Mikey Samerstill.
Oh yeah. I mean, it wasn't as good as last year, but.
Well, I think they're using him wrong. I'm here in Michigan. I'm here in Michigan. Mikey was a blitz demon.
He was at Michigan, and they
blitzed him off the edge a lot,
and they didn't use him in any of that capacity. So that's called coaching. Okay, so we all agree with Mikey. So now let's keep going. Can't say Dom Hampton because he gone.
I don't even know who that is. Who is that?
I'm gonna go down.
He was drafted as a safety out of Washington State, and they tried to convert him to linebacker.
Did he play?
They cut him. No, they cut him in preseason.
Oh,
they cut him, but they cut him in preseason. So, and then we'll make sure that first draft class, because I can't remember all them picks. They had a bunch of them though, because they were trading back.
What did linebacker?
Luke McCaffrey.
Luke was good though.
Okay.
I heard.
Yeah, and there's one more. I think I'm missing one more. That came after Dom.
What about the linebacker that y'all talk about?
Jordan McGee.
Jordan McGee. There you go.
Yeah.
So listen, we've had our thumbs up for every draft pick except for one. And then the other one got cut. So that on you, it's automatic. That was a bad pick. Okay. But one player pretty much, or two. You guys say Ben and Johnny Newton. Okay. Yeah. So just once again, for Ben Sinnott, I'm going thumbs up.
Me too.
I'm gonna go up.
Yeah. Okay. So Ellison and Brad and stealing people's Christmases and then Johnny Newton. How many for Johnny Newton again?
I'm really like this, but I'm gonna go down.
Yeah, I
really
give like a half.
Go on, Ellison. You can put the thumb down. Ellison used to be so positive. Now he comes in just swinging.
I'm like this.
I think he had. Don't get me wrong. I'm in the boat with Gerard. I think he has ability. It hasn't been harnessed yet, but from what I've seen so far, it's in the middle.
Yeah.
What did you say, Willis? Did you say a thumbs up?
I said
he
thumbs up.
Look.
Yeah, he in the middle too.
All right. Well, let's go.
I got the Brian Bosworth here.
Well, let's go with this year's draft class. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So Josh Connerly.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Trey Amos.
Yeah.
Jalen Lane.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a returner or receiver?
Just as a football player. As a football player.
As a draft pick.
Yeah, as a draft pick. That's a good pick, man.
Okay.
Wait, Oscar, you don't have a hand up. Is that?
I was just thinking about it. I don't know. Maybe having this would be a good idea.
But isn't he dominant but I mean, isn't he dominant as a special teamer?
He did.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, so he's giving you something. He gave you 2 touchdowns this year.
Yeah.
Okay. As a returner and 1 touchdown as a receiver. So I mean, yeah.
Hey,
okay.
I'm cool with him as a receiver.
Yeah.
He did just as much as
surprised a
Luke
lot of
did his
people.
first year. This is his first year.
Absolutely.
I'm cool as him as a receiver. Coaching, he
Yep.
got to be used more. He did just as much as Luke in Luke's first year.
Maybe if not more.
Yes,
you know?
exactly.
So, and we see how Luke's rebounded as well. You know, so let's go. Kane Madrano. I'm gonna say
he didn't get to play.
I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna go here. And the reason why I say that is because Kane actually played well on teams. He played well on teams. You know,
right here.
Yeah.
Did he play?
He played on special teams a lot, and he did okay. He did okay, but
yeah, he's to be determined for me.
But he was always a guy, and I can tell y'all this: he was always a guy that was projected to be a guy that was going to take some time, and they did. They didn't throw him to the wolves.
Okay.
Sometimes I want you to throw guys to the wolves when I see that the wolves that are out there ain't hunting. But the point is,
his speed, right?
they made him. Yeah, they made him wait. Okay, and then finally, Bill. I mean, come on now. I mean, so Krosky Merritt. If you look at Bill Krosky Merritt, so if you look at Adams' picks over the first 2 years, they not bad. They not. And he hit on a couple stars out of this too. So you compare that to what was before.
It was.
I mean, man, you made me sick already.
I mean, really? Right. I mean, it's not even. I mean, it's like that was about to say that would have been bad. I was gonna say a joke. That would have. I don't know how that would have went off.
You want to push him down the steps? I already said it.
No. I was gonna say. Wait. Nah, never mind. No, I don't even want to go.
Don't do it,
there.
Don't
do
it.
Don't put me in with them other jerks out there. You know, I don't know.
The chat.
Ooh, that would have been bad.
I think I watch that clip once a week. I watch that clip once a week. Oh man.
Yeah. So let's talk.
That goes to show that we all put our thumbs up and we all agree that we had draft picks. So we can all conclude that it's all coaching, man. And like I was saying, in the adjustments.
There you go.
Adjustments and the coaching.
That's all I've been saying.
100%. Coaching. Coaching changes everything. And you know when you got a good coach too. you do. You know when you got a good coach. Like I'm telling you, when I was playing ball growing up all the way through college, I knew when I had a good coach because they made me do things and see things that I didn't see, or they had me doing things I didn't know I was capable of doing. And they always, complimented your strengths, but they spent more time on your weaknesses to get it to become a strength. I just felt like this past year, the defense was putty. It was like duct tape. It was like they were trying to hide a deficiency, but not fix it. It was just to hide it. You can't do that, man. When I watched that Texans defense against Pittsburgh, oh my God, that they looked like a throwback defense. They had bad intentions. I didn't think Aaron was going to make. Yeah, I didn't think Aaron was going to make it through the game. I'm like, they're coming to hit him.
We could have got Daniel Hunter, and nobody got him. Could have got him. He was available.
He sure enough was available. They
didn't want to pay for him.
See, what I like about Houston is, some of the things we had talked about on previous shows. They had a plan. Mm-hmm. They knew what they were going to do. They got a defensive-minded coach, and their coach fit their guys. They got Stingley, the corner, and they got Will Anderson and Hunter. But what other names is on that defense? They got guys that fit.
That number 5 is going to be a name now. I can't remember his name right now.
But we didn't know him before. But they got guys that fit their defense. All I'm saying is what I've been saying for a couple of shows and in our chat. What's our identity? Let's get your identity and get guys that fit your identity. Then we can go some places. We don't have no identity.
That's so listen, true. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna give y'all a name. I'm gonna give you a name, and I'm telling y'all right now, I just think it's gonna be in play. And if not, but you have to wait because they still in it. See, this is the part that I have to remember.
Blink twice.
Well,
He's
Don't
on
get
here.
in trouble.
Don't
Don't get in
do
trouble.
it. Don't
It's
do it.
nothing can get me in trouble, but it's like
Is somebody in Houston?
the relationships that you have. You don't want to,
Right.
I
That's what
could
I'm
say
saying.
something that makes another team say, "Hey, look, we gotta get them before they do."
Well, don't do it.
Don't
Well,
do
no,
it.
I'm not
Don't
gonna
do
say
it.
the name, but I will say there's somebody on Houston staff that's getting looked at. Believe me when I tell you. Every team is in the same boat because they gotta wait because that team is still in the playoffs.
Playoffs.
Although I think they're going to lose to the Patriots. And the reason why
I hope
that Nico Collins injury is
It's gonna
huge
hurt. That's gonna
because
hurt.
their offense is already kind of limited. You know what I mean? So, gee, and it's going to be cold.
I know.
So, um, I don't know why I feel like we about to see a Buffalo New England AFC Championship game. I don't know why I keep saying it. I think Denver's good. Don't get me wrong. But if you Josh Allen, you better get this done this
I'm
year.
pushing
You
for
better
Josh.
get it done. You better get it done. I don't want to stray.
They ready to crown Drake May though. Man, they ready to crown him. They ready to. He's the next Tom Brady, and he should be the MVP. They ready to. They
And
ready
he's
to
not.
crown him.
I mean, but you know what though? They was doing that with Jaden last year.
Of course.
But I'm probably hating because our second year quarterback is better than everybody else's. So I'm cheering
I mean,
against every second year
we all
quarterback.
in agreement on that. But I will say this though. What's the best thing that ever happened to Drake May? He got a coach and he got an offensive coordinator. And say what you want about Josh McDaniels. He's a hell of a offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
They got a professional offensive coordinator in there that played to his strengths.
Yeah.
And
They
Cliff
got a
was
defense too. They got a defense too.
They got a defense. So that's the thing. It's all complimentary football at the end of the day. You know, if you don't if you don't have one side that's helping your cause, you're done.
If you look at
Bottom
it,
line.
all the second year quarterbacks that are in the playoffs have great good defenses and an offensive mind guy, right?
Yep.
Bo Nix, Denver, he playing well, but Denver ain't there because it's him. That defense is nasty.
All of them have it. All of
Chicago's defense, I'm not a Caleb Williams fan, but their
I don't
defense
mind,
is
Brad.
taking that ball away.
Me
Their defense
neither.
is taking that ball away. So, I mean,
Look
honestly,
at Seattle. I mean, I think you could say that
quarterback
for most teams in the playoffs. Their defenses are legit.
Our quarterback came to the worst situation.
Yeah.
He really did.
Yeah, because if you put Jaden in a
Just-
Patriots uniform and you put Jaden in a Bears uniform and you put Jaden in a Denver uniform,
Forget it.
they in the Super Bowl with
For
those
sure.
defenses.
100%.
All
Yeah,
right.
100%. 100%.
That's what it boils
just
down to.
saying that says a lot because we just said, right, these guys are having spectacular seasons, but their defense is like beast type defense. Jaden didn't have that, and look
He's
how
never
far he
had it.
took us, man.
Never had it.
Never had it. So I mean, that's how special this kid is, man. You know, to take the team all the way to the NFC Championship without a maybe below average defense.
Everything.
Roster.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
The whole team. The whole team.
Right.
And it's hard for me to say
imagine-
that because I did have a player once last year when I was saying this guy is wearing a cape and he's carrying this gonna be the worst roster he ever played on. And I had a guy tell me, we cool. He told me, he said, "Damn man, you think we not that good in here?" And I said, "Nah, I didn't say that, but I'm just telling you, what's your rating on Madden?" And I was joking with him, and he was like, he said, "Yeah, it's not that good." And I was like, so I'm not saying, because I say anybody that's in the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, NHL, if you're a professional, you're the best of the best. And the guy that everybody says is a bum and he's not that good, he'll come to your local Sunday league and own you.
Yeah,
There's nothing you can do about it. So no, none of that. But let's talk about this. Final thing we could talk about today, have some fun with it is I want to get your take on the renderings of the stadium that you're seeing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen some mixed reviews. I don't know how you possibly could have a problem with what you're seeing. But once again,
Beautiful.
people are always angry about something. So so for the ones who are angry, before we even get going here, I'll make a deal with you. Keep FedEx, keep Northwest Stadium as this team stadium, and don't worry about it.
Yeah.
How about that? Okay. All right. How about that? Yeah. No, I'm just saying if you have a problem with this new rendering, I mean,
You can
just
have
keep what you got. Yeah, keep what you got and call it a day. Okay. How about that?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody would ever sign up for that. So let's get your take on the new stadium, the new renderings that have come out. To me, it looks eerily similar to a modern day RFK Stadium.
Yeah,
That's what it looks, and I think that's what
looks
they're
it.
trying to come up with. So what do you guys think? So we had some people joining us that came in. So let's go ahead and get Dave on and see what you think, Dave.
It's beautiful. I think it's like what you said. It's a flashback of old RFK, but with that modern look, and
Mhm.
Washington.
it fits the area, man. Like it's white. It looks like one of the monuments that they have there already, you know.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
mind you, it's not even all the way done. That's just the renderings and everything, and it looks awesome. And I love the fact that they made it somewhat translucent, where you can actually see, the scenery around. I love it, man. I love it.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, Allison, what you think?
I love
You're
it
not gonna
too.
thumbs down it, are you?
No, no, no. I love it. I love the renderings. I love what it could potentially be. I think it looks beautiful. Yeah, I have nothing negative to say about that at all. I think it's a great thing. Hopefully, it's grass inside.
Yeah,
Um,
see, I'm glad you brought that up because when you guys look at the renderings and you see the one side of the stadium, it looks like it's all glass.
Mhm.
The bottom of that should be slit. It should be able to come out. So I'm pretty confident that it will be grass in there. So it'll be like
That'd
Allegiant
be grass.
Stadium. It'll be like Allegiant Stadium.
They can
So
roll it in and out.
yep, they can
yeah,
roll it in and out. So
yeah,
and I
yeah.
and,
I love
and
it.
Josh wasn't in Spain for no reason now.
Yeah,
And
That floor spins over from within. So I don't know if this stadium will be big enough to be able to maneuver that to happen. Because you need a mammoth stadium for that. And Oscar will tell you that stadium in Spain was
It was amazing.
it was enormous. It was the largest stadium I've ever been in. When we were down on the field in pregame, you couldn't see upstairs. Like you literally you couldn't see. That's how big that's massive that stadium was. So I don't know if they're going to be able to put something in there that kind of rolls over on the floor. But I think if you look at Allegiant and you can just slide that thing right on out, that's going to be awesome, man. That puts them right there with the best stadiums in the league. For my money, I know Minnesota Stadium has had a lot of problems from what I've been told. You know,
Yep.
they've had to keep putting money back in it to fix some things.
Yep.
But just from an architectural standpoint, if you can, is that a word? Architectural?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Architectural standpoint, phenomenal. Phenomenal stadium. To me, better than SoFi. SoFi is nice, but I'm a little biased on that. Sorry for our California folks on here, but
Oh, man. Don't
We
go
have
there.
so let's keep it going. Oscar, what you think?
Well, like a couple of years ago, when they renovated the soccer field here in Turkey, a soccer stadium, they kept one little wall just to salute the past, the old bricks.
Uh-huh.
So what I was thinking was, if you could just remain the main entrance of the RFK, but since HKS, came up with this, wobbling, wavy architectural design, it looks amazing to me. And I got one more fantasy: if they could build some of the tribunes like up and down, bouncing like the old RFK. If this is possible, I don't know. It's just a fantasy.
That would be awesome. In Dallas yeah, I mean we can still talk about them too, but in Dallas in Jerry's World, they have some stuff on the walls like stars of former players, and they have them on the ground too. They even have them for cheerleaders. They just anybody that they have them for fans, season ticket holders. You can buy a star on the going around it. It's a little extra, a little flamboyant, but it's Dallas. But I think when you come up with that kind of creativity, that's the kind of stuff that sells tickets. It's the kind of stuff that people want to see and be part of. So now, it's not going to just be a building like what Northwest Stadium is. It's just a building. That's all it is. There's
Nothing fancy.
there's no life to it. There's
Nothing.
no historical aspect to it. But I think with this thing being the way it is and looking the way it is, it does kind of remind you of like being in downtown DC amongst the office buildings and structures and stuff like that. It looks like a museum, kind of, right? A sports museum. So,
and I think we definitely need a better Sean Taylor statue out there somewhere.
Oh no. That's coming for sure. And
that's been gone.
Yeah, it won't be no I was about to say Woolworths. I don't know if any of y'all remember that story. But it won't be the Woolworths mannequin, that they then grabbed off in the back, but they lay them all down. That was and they actually somebody agreed on that. And it wasn't Jason. Let me tell y'all right now. I do know that for sure. It wasn't Jason, right? You already know who it was. So anyway, all right. So let's keep it going. Let's go, Miss Sheila. What you think of the rendering so far?
I like it. I was just thinking. I used to live down the street from the RFK, and I was like, the way it's sloped in the middle. I say it looks just like it looks like it. It's just that the pillows and things, you can tell that they're going to be really pretty. Now that looks like downtown.
It does.
Yeah,
that looks like downtown. And then you can see the Capitol, and you can see the monument because that stadium was right on East Capitol Street, going straight down.
The whole thing to see that in the backdrop.
So they did that. They put it right in the middle of East Capitol Street, and so I was excited. So I'm gonna still be able to probably see my high school, because they did do our high school over.
You went to Eastern?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Yes. Nice.
So
okay.
You can always see our high school from it. And I was wondering, what did they do with the Armory? Are they doing that over?
See, that's from the renderings. It looks like the Armory's not there. And
I think it's gone.
And I think they're gonna knock that down. I do.
Yeah, I was wondering because that was a little rough looking. So that's not gonna go right. That's
rough inside of that thing too. Go to a boxing match in there. Wasn't the only one in the ring. Yeah, I mean, I'm DC. I'm from DC. I'm qualified to say it. You know what I mean? I'm from Northeast. But it was like. That area in general, because it was right next to the jail's still there, so it's right next to
the jail is still there, and then
the jail's still there.
DC
General's still there too.
Okay.
It is.
Yeah. So that's a hospital that I can't do it. I can't because they're gonna get mad. They're gonna you don't want to go there. So anyway, because you was probably shot, so you don't want to go there.
I hope that
my best friend was born there.
Yeah, no, if you went to DC General, they didn't say, oh, you dealing with, ailment or no, you probably had something traumatic happen to you that night.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sorry, we will leave that alone.
That's the only thing we had. Okay, then.
I'm sorry, but Miss Shirley, it's true. All right, so let's keep it going. Allison, what you think?
No, I already said.
Oh, no, Allison, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. So let me hit my screen. Okay, so Sheila, David went, Oscar went, Ellison went. Is Willis still with us?
Yeah, he's just not on.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, we can't see you.
We can't see you.
Oh, what the heck? I'll back out and I'll come back in.
Okay. What you talking about, Willis? There he is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
That was cute.
Yeah. So what you think of the rendering so far?
I'm telling you what, that does my heart so much good to see that, because like Sheila said, I mean, it looks like my first impression is it looks like it's old RFK, which that pulls my heartstrings right away. I see all those like magnificent pillars, man. I hope they don't cheap out on the material too, because I hope it comes out looking like the rest of DC, like the downtown DC area as well.
Like marble and all that.
Yeah, exactly. To address what Oscar was saying, I heard that there was a survey that went out to a bunch of Commanders fans that one of the questions was asking, would you be interested in purchasing seats in the bouncing section?
Oh my God, that would be awesome.
What?
Which to me,
Yeah,
so
the hydraulics. They're trying to bring it back for sure.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna bring it in. So I'm like, I am gonna be there year one. I'm flying from Arizona. I'm going to be there. I'm gonna see at least one game in DC. I cannot wait to see that stadium. And if there's a wall of fan fames, like I can't wait to get my face up on there.
Right. So somebody has something going on in the background. I'm not sure who that is.
My house. It's not me.
Yeah, it's like a TV on or something, or if not,
I
I was
think
just gonna say just mute
I
your
think it's
thing.
Ellison. He muted himself.
Okay, cool.
It's
Okay.
it's probably my kids. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I was just gonna say we'll just mute our thing. So let's keep it going. Those are good things. Will, let's go with Brad. What you think?
Um, I like the architectural drawings. That dip in there kind of reminds you. It looks like they're doing that for sound reasons, kind of like Arrowhead Stadium. How Arrowhead is not the best stadium, but how it's designed because it is
Sure
loud.
isn't.
It is
It
super
sure isn't.
loud in there. I like the new stadium for the area. I would bring it back up, and then they trying to bring back RFK by touching on the fans. But if I remember, I've never been to RFK, but driving by there a few times I went there.
It was
RFK wasn't like the top of the line stadium though, right?
No,
No, it
of
wasn't.
course not.
Not at
But
all.
but RFK won. So I did some research, right? From
It was
1971.
a baseball stadium first.
Right.
From
Senators.
from 1971 to 1996, we had 5 losing seasons. 5. From 1997 to 2005, we had 8 winning.
I was gonna say to flip that around.
That is crazy.
A
So
travesty.
I would rather have us put a winning team on the field. I wouldn't even care how the stadium looked. I just know.
Yes, you will.
I just know. I just know from watching on TV, the times I went to the game, I am tired of seeing opposing teams take over our stadium. So put a winning team on the field. I don't care how the stadium look. As long as we winning, then I'm good with that.
So I
But
do
you
have to
comparing
say this.
Northwest?
I do have to say this as a Washingtonian. Our area is so unique. It's similar to LA, and they deal with it all the time. I'm sure Sean Owen and Brandon can talk about this, and Dave. I'm sure that people can talk about in their areas where they are. But LA and Washington have become the 2 most transient towns in the country because that's where the money is and that's where everybody's moving for jobs. So the change that's happened in Washington isn't just because the team's bad. Don't get me wrong. That's a huge part, probably the biggest part. But the second thing I think is because most people you meet in Washington now aren't from Washington. They're from a whole nother area that's moved there, relocated there. So they're going to support the team that comes to town where they're from. And it's a lot of people that are doing that now. You go to LA, there is no home field advantage. The Chargers, they're just renting. That's bottom line. And I saw that firsthand when it was burgundy and gold all throughout that stadium. Shano, you were there. It was a home game for us. Okay. I think with this stadium, the beauty of this stadium back in Washington, the new one, they're going to keep it at 65,000. That's
They
the
said
key.
70.
Yeah, well, 5 more thousand. It's the same thing.
Okay.
That number.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying that number is small compared to most modern what they do. They build big stadiums. They have this problem in Dallas. Contrary to what you may see on television, not realizing it's a huge contingency of fans from the opposing team in Dallas too, because the larger the stadium, the more tickets that are sold gives the other team's fan base an opportunity to purchase tickets. But when you have it small and quaint, similar to Baltimore, similar to Pittsburgh, you're not coming in there. You carrying on. You're not. And the one thing people don't realize about Washington, about RFK, and I can say, been having my godparents used to work there. So I used to be on that field as a kid, literally. I remember coming out the tunnel that you had to take the steps up to get up on the field. It was the only time I ever saw corporate professionals, they were going to jump people. I mean, people talk about Philadelphia. RFK wasn't a place you wanted to come up in hooping and hollering for another team. You really you kind of you got to remember where it was located too. Come on, Miss Sheila.
I know. That's what I
Right
said.
next to the jail.
But I'm telling you, man, it was
You up the street
It
from
was
Benning
it was
Road.
raucous in that
Straight up.
stadium. Yeah, it was raucous, and you didn't come in
Mm-hmm.
there hooping and hollering and running your mouth.
Langston Terrace.
First of all, you knew you were going to get beat down.
Yeah.
You know, at when Joe Gibbs was there, it was you talking about the ultimate home field advantage. Teams were shook. They knew they had lost the game in pregame because they couldn't believe how crazy you talking about. White collar Washington wasn't white collar on those Sundays. It was rough,
No,
and
it's
I
One family.
yeah, and I think that's what's going to be needed going forward. You know, the only way you're going to keep opposing teams' fans from coming in your building is because they know they're coming in there to get a loss, and most people don't want to sit there and watch a beating. You know, so these guys, these fans have been coming in the Northwest Stadium and FedEx previously because they felt comfortable knowing what the result on the field was going to be.
Right.
Well, last year it wasn't like that. I can tell you right now, that stadium, Miss Sheila works there too. That
I
stadium
worked
was
on the visitor
rocking.
side. I
Gerard
worked
goes to all the games.
uh-huh.
It was rocking last
Yeah.
year. I was just disappointed that they didn't have a home playoff game because the last home playoff day game, does anybody know what it was? I'll tell you what it was. Does anybody remember?
Was it RG3?
Mm-mm. The
Okay,
last,
I
and
can't
see,
remember.
I gotta do it again to you, Brad. It was Ron Rivera. It was against
Oh,
them, but it was a COVID game, and I was there.
He cut
I
out.
must have missed
Yeah,
that.
Brad. It was empty. It was
Sorry,
no
man,
one
I
in
had
the
to throw up.
stadium.
My bad.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
Remember the Taylor Heineke dive in the end zone game,
That was
right?
it.
You know?
Yeah.
But it was no one there. And it was cold, by the way. I remember doing post game, and it was when I say cold, it was unbearable cold.
Lake, what's your cold? 30? Dude, I'm from Michigan. You know what it
Hey
is
man,
outside right
but
now?
that's your problem. That ain't my problem. I mean, you can have it.
Was it like
See,
5
when people
degrees,
claim
Brad?
that, like, I did go to Penn State for college, and I'm gonna tell you, it was brutally cold up there. I'm talking zeros. But I ain't have to deal with it like that. You know, if it was cold, you ain't go to class. I mean, I don't want to condone that, but I mean, you know, because they weren't shutting
Hey,
you
y'all,
down.
I gotta jump off, y'all.
Okay. All
Good
right,
to
you
see
take
everybody,
care.
man. See
Yeah,
y'all.
you know, you just missed class, you know. But so let's do this. We got about 5 more minutes. I'm not gonna hold you guys. I want to get your final takes on the rest of the playoffs. I just want to know, who do you guys have? All you got to do is tell me who you have in the Super Bowl and who you have winning it based off of what's left. And we have 2 games coming up today. So let's start with Miss Sheila on this one.
Can it be who you want to be in there and not who you think? So I don't
Nah, we want
Well,
an educated guess of who you think is going to be in the Super Bowl.
that's kind of hard. Well, okay, I will pick LA.
Okay.
Okay.
That's not a bad pick.
No,
I mean,
that's what I'm
okay.
saying. That's who.
Okay.
And I think that they're good enough to win.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with them in Buffalo.
There we go. All right. Okay. I'm going. See, I love the Rams. I think that they are there. I just don't know what it is about Chicago, man. I think they might.
No,
They
don't
just
claim that.
they're
Don't claim
playing out of their mind right now. They're
Yeah.
playing with house money right now, and it's
They
supposed to snow in Chicago tomorrow.
Oh Lord,
that changes a lot. And
LA
that
got to play in
stadium
that.
is going to be rabid. I still got the Rams beating them though. So yeah, I got the Rams and Buffalo in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
But anyway, all right. So let's go with Brandon on this.
That was me too. I think the Rams are going to go up into Chicago and stop their dreams. Because I think
that sounds personal.
Like that.
That sounds personal though.
No, I
It is
just don't
personal.
like I don't like Ben Johnson, man. I think that guy needs some humble pie, man.
He's
He
full of
do.
Yeah.
They literally, if you look at that team and look at our team last year,
It's carbon copies.
they're winning
That's
games
right.
by the last minute, and it's going to catch up with them. It is going to catch up with them, and they're going to run. They're going to get smacked in the mouth by the Rams. I really think. I don't care what the Rams almost beat. Remember, Rams almost beat Philly last year, and they
should have in that setting in that
crazy
snow.
blizzard game. So we'll see. But I want Rams Buffalo. That's what I want. Same.
Okay. All right. Gerard.
I'm going with the two teams I was going with from day one before the playoffs started. Seattle and New England.
Okay.
That's who I got in the Super Bowl, and I'm gonna say Seattle wins.
Okay. All right. They're the number one overall seed in the NFC. I don't think that's going to be a bad pick at all. I'm a little concerned about the oblique with Sam Darnold. I was concerned before the oblique,
Oh,
Right.
as far as the playoffs. So now
dang.
that's something to
Yeah.
watch. So
It's
we'll
yes, it
see.
is.
I missed
Yeah.
that.
Yep. So we'll see. He's listed as questionable. He's playing, but he's definitely going to get some shots for sure.
hmm
All right. So let's go with Oscar. What you think?
My strongest candidates would be Rams and Bills. Like, I wouldn't be mad if Drake May wins it because I think he played awesome the whole year. And Broncos. My uncle lives in Colorado, so he's a Broncos fan, so it would be okay for Bo Wicks winning it. Bo
Okay.
Nix.
We y'all do realize the worst case scenario
It's
for
true.
Washington is to have
Drake
Caleb,
May.
Drake, or Bo Nix win the
In
Super
that
Yes.
Bowl.
Super
I
Bowl.
know, I
Because
know.
then
I feel
people are
the
going to
same.
be like, I told you
They
Jay
can't
was a
win it. They
bust.
can't win it. They can't win it.
Right.
Right.
So
That's the
yeah,
worst.
go Rams,
Or
go Rams then.
even
That's what
worse
I
than
keep
that.
saying. Go Rams or go Bills.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
going to say, because worse than that is to have Chicago
Oh,
versus either New England or Denver in the Super Bowl. Oh, you
hmm
really going to hear Jaden's a
I
bust
ain't gonna
and
even want
blah,
to
blah,
look at
blah.
it.
Yeah.
I'm
All
gonna look
right.
at it. I'm not even
All
gonna
right.
worry
So,
about it. JD5 coming back next year.
yeah, we
Right.
know. We're going
revenge
to
tour
get it. All right.
begins.
So let's go with Shano.
Okay, first I want to touch on the stadium real quick because that's I like what I saw. And I think you're going to it reminded me the pillars of the Forum in your new stomping grounds in Inglewood, California,
It
the way it
did.
looks. So
Mhm.
just wanted to touch on that. Same thing as G. I had Seattle and New England, but so many injuries, I can see anybody going.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
there's no support, a lot of parity going on right now, especially because of injuries. So.
Mhm. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Mhm.
All right, Dave. Dave, you're on mute. I mean,
Hey,
there you go. There you go.
yeah, yeah, I got what you call Buffalo. I think this is the year that he finally gets the monkey off his back,
Mhm.
and get this AFC. Although I know they're probably going to put into asterisks because the elite quarterbacks that he usually has a problem with are not there.
Hey, if I
So
got a
it's probably like,
championship, you can carve an asterisk
eh,
in it. I don't care.
I know exactly right.
Do
Yeah,
it all for it.
but
Right.
I think it's their time, and I take the Rams
Are
as
you
well.
spending the night?
You know.
Okay.
Also, getting back real quick on as far as the climate stuff, I'm a little bit different. I like outdoors, even though it may get freezing cold. But I'm like John Madden back in the days. Like I used to love watching John Madden, and they used to get all in the mud and look out there. And he used to get all excited because of the game. I love that kind of atmosphere, and I played in that. I played in the snow. I played in the rain, and it was fun. And in the deep cold. So I like the outdoors, but I'm okay with the indoors too, though.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. All right. So let's go, Willis. What you think?
All right, I think we're going to have a Seattle Denver. It's going to be a kind of a West Coast affair this year, and I think Denver's going to take it.
Okay. That would be an old AFC West football game because
It
people
would.
you remember Seattle was in the AFC West.
Yeah, sure would be.
Yeah, that would be
I'm
interesting.
I'm assuming it's still too late to say Washington and Baltimore in the Super Bowl, so I'm going to go with that one.
Yeah, that's what I predicted. Man. Look, you got coordinators and coaches gone on those two teams now.
Sure
Man,
do.
I gave them the total death curse. Okay, all right. So let's go with Josh. What you think, Josh?
Well, first of all, on the stadium, that's just two things. Harris grew up a fan, and I think that it's showing, especially since you said something about hydraulics. So
Mhm.
it totally reminded me of the old RFK. It was tears.
Yeah.
It was great. As far as Super Bowl, now I did not know about his oblique injury. That's interesting. That changes things, but
Mhm.
I'm still going Seattle Bills, and Bills will take it. Um, because Allen proves year after year. It doesn't matter how injured he is, that kid just keeps pushing. And I just got a feeling that finally it's his year. I'm with you on the asterisk, tattoo it on my forehead. Screw that. You get to the Super Bowl, you get to the Super Bowl. That doesn't that's the end all be all. It's hard to get there. So I think it's finally that at least I'm kind of hoping for him, especially after the 4 Super Bowl losses straight back in the 90s. I mean,
Yeah.
80s and
And
90s.
you want to see the best
I want to see that fan
be
base
looked
get
at.
something.
You want to see a guy like Josh Allen,
Yeah.
who's a phenomenal football player.
Well, and those fans are
you
getting ready to get ripped off with the whole new stadium and the PSL license, and that most of those fans, it's one of the poorest fan bases in the NFL, and the owner, the season tickets have tripled, and the PSL licensing for them, and all
I
that
gotta be
stuff.
careful with that because that owner is a major booster from my school sports
Don't
program.
don't
He's
think
from there.
it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's today's NFL.
Yeah.
The fans are an afterthought kind of so don't get me down that train. But I'm pushing for the Bills. I really am for that fan base because, but I think that they're going to get in there. Just and if he's got an oblique injury, that makes me take the Bills. I do. I'm with Brandon. With Benji in Chicago. I think Benji's going to take a hit to the ego this offseason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds personal.
If
you guys make it. You
Buffalo
guys
wins,
just not liking
just a little bit.
Just because the way they won this year, they stole that game. I was like,
it's like you said though. It's just a carbon copy. That's my thinking. It's a little personal, but if they win, they still get there. If they still get there, all the props in the world.
Sure.
Honestly.
Right.
If Chicago wins the Super Bowl, you never gonna hear.
We'll never hear that.
Everybody's not like my boy Brandon, my neighbor who came on with us. Everybody's not like him. He's cool. But I've seen some others that are just obnoxious.
Oh yeah, they're coming out of the woodwork. They're terrible, but
All right.
1985. So
it's been a while, hasn't it? So let's go back to the Oscar. I don't think Oscar's answered the question yet. So let's.
I did.
Okay.
Bills would be fine. Rams would.
Bills, Rams. Yeah.
Don't worry about my uncle in Colorado. I take it back.
Ellison. Yep. So it's Ellison. Yep. My screen. Okay. All right. So Ellison, you're up.
Pretty much what most of everybody has said. I got the Rams and the Bills too. I had that before the playoffs started. And I'm a Josh Allen fan. I love my Skins. I love my Commanders, man. But I've been a fan of Josh Allen going back to Wyoming.
Yeah, man.
The year he came out for the draft, a little short story. The year he came out for the draft, that was my first daughter was born, and she would sleep during the day and wake up at night. So I'd be up at night with her. And it used to be I forgot what Mount West games on at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. And I saw him play for the first time, and I was like, who is that? Because I saw that arm, and I was like, this dude,
big he is.
Yeah. I was like, if he get proper coaching, this dude is going to be amazing. And see where he is now. So I'm a Josh Allen fan. So I hope Josh Allen gets one.
All right. Good stuff.
Hey,
yes, sir.
Hey, I want to give my point of view for the stadium. I never was able to do that.
Okay.
So far as the stadium, I think it looks beautiful. I like it. I'm all for it. I never was able to ever go to RFK. I mean, I'm from Williamsburg, Virginia, so I'm close to DC. But I don't have the history like some of you guys do. I'm similar to Brad Jones. I just need to see a winning product. I just need to see victories. Us winning again consistently. That's where my focus at. More so, the stadium, and it's still like four years away. So, but I'm glad that it's coming. I'm for it. But here's my only concern. Like you said, I go to games a lot. I went to 5 games last year, 2 or 3 this year. I hear that it might not be feasible or price for I'm gonna say the average Joe. I consider myself the average Joe. So I'm hoping I'm still able to at least go to 1 or 2 games here and there. And I like to tailgate. As you know, I met you. We go out there, we tailgate, we party. So I'm hearing that it might not be as much tailgating. So, I mean, I know change comes with change and I could change, but I do like the tailgating. Because, look, y'all, we get it in out there. Miss Sheila, they get it in. We party.
So, the thing is funny you say this because if you're saying you just want to have the product win, it's going to be the same thing as far as the parking and the tailgating because What
Yeah,
what
fun place.
Northwest and FedEx turned into was a party because there wasn't a party going on in the building. So
Right.
you had to make the
Exactly.
most of your experience.
Yes.
Well, if the product in that building is winning, you're not
Mhm.
gonna worry about that tailgate as
Right. That's
much.
what I'm
I
saying.
mean, it's
It's not gonna
fun.
end
It's
there.
fun. Don't get me wrong, and it's
Mhm.
networking for sure. But the tailgating and the network gonna be happening in the building as
Yeah.
that
And-
team's winning.
And
So
as far as people getting tickets, not being able to afford it, it might be like that for the first year or two or
it'll
three.
change because I
It'll
think
change
Josh
because
Harris understands that's important.
and people also just can't make the games when they sell their tickets. You always have access to it. I see that here in Minnesota after the first couple of years and
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah.
Again, the tickets that I got, my guitar player owns a business, so those lower level seats were not cheap, but the upper level seats were reasonable. They were under $100, and there's not a bad seat in that house, is there? Like it was gorgeous.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't a bad seat in the house. And I do hear you on that too, Gerard, that I think that you don't want to start it off on bad will. And but